When I'm on a dinghy cruise, like most people, I find that good food makes for a good trip. My message to my fellow cruisers often is this: don't eat like a hobo, eat nice meals instead. In order to cook on board, you have to have some basic equipment. The purpose of this video is not to go over all the gear you need, but some things you need are a stove. I have a small butane stove. Many people have propane. Fry pan, a pot, basic utensils like a knife, cutting board, spatulas, a stirring spoon, etc. I also keep some basic seasoning on board, like salt and pepper, and then I add anything I need for that trip's menu, anything special that's required. I also have a small bottle of cooking oil for doing the frying, and I keep dishwashing supplies like a soap and sponge to clean up afterwards. Now, I like to start my days aboard. I usually wake up pretty early, and I like a hot breakfast. So I have hot coffee and corned beef hash most days. This is my favorite. I use a percolator coffee pot, a stovetop one. I find it makes nice coffee. It's easier to use instant. This is a little bit of a luxury. It takes up some fuel. But if I'm traveling with other people, I tend to make a full pot and share it with them, and they tend to appreciate that. Of course, you can do easy things like cereals and fruits, etc. But for the dinners, I like to definitely make a cooked meal. And basically, the idea is to make simple, quick, good foods. Now, one of the easiest things to do is make things in advance and freeze them. At the top of my list for this is chili. I love to make some homemade chili and freeze it in like 1 quart containers or smaller. And then I can take 1 or 2 of these with me, and they help keep the cooler cold, and they serve as a meal or two. That's just ready to go. Just pour it out, put it in a pot, heat it up, and you're done. In addition to pre-made meals, I do like to bring fresh frozen meats with me. This can be chicken, beef, fish, even shrimp. But these have to be used in the first couple of days. Usually on the first day, I'll have a pan-fried steak. All you have to do is just season it and fry it up in the frying pan. I'll usually make a vegetable with this, like green beans, that I can just boil in the pot, or you can fry them. Sometimes I'll make instant mashed potatoes. I don't want to go through the trouble of boiling potatoes and peeling them. That would take a lot of time and fuel. And maybe a little glass of wine with dinner. This is a lovely meal, and it takes maybe 20 minutes to put together. If I'm going to have fish, like salmon, I definitely do that on day 1. I don't want my fish to go bad. I like salmon because it's a nice firm fish. It's good tasting. It's easy to fry up. Make sure that it's thawed, so maybe an hour before dinner, take it out to finish thawing if it hasn't already. And just season it and fry it, and again, serve with some vegetables and maybe some rice. So if you want to get a little more creative with your beef, besides just frying up a steak, you can do stir fries. An easy stir fry I like to make is stir fry beef with Yoshida sauce. Nothing more than cut up and stir fry some peppers and onions. I like to use the different colored ones for different color and presentation and taste. And then you add a little Yoshida sauce and season to taste. Maybe serve with some rice. Again, delicious meal, very little preparation. Now, one of my favorite meals, though, and one that surprises people sometimes when I have it when I'm camping, is a penang curry. Now, this is not as hard to make as you might think. You definitely have to get the penang paste. These come in little cans like the size of a small tuna can. You also need coconut milk, which comes in cans. Some lime juice or kaffir lime leaves. Fish sauce is good to have. And then onions, peppers, garlic. Check out your Penang recipes for that. But it's nothing more than frying up or sauteing the vegetables, sauteing the chicken, putting that can of paste in the frying pan, frying it up with the chicken, and then add the vegetables. And then after that's all fried up for a little bit and mix the flavors, you pour in the coconut milk and stir that up, bring it to a boil, maybe add a little bit of the lime juice, and then let it simmer for 10 minutes or so. And I'll tell you, that is delicious. You can get it to taste just about like you get it at a restaurant. Again, I like to serve this over rice. Now, you can substitute canned chicken breast for this. And it's still very good. I've made it both ways. And the advantage of that is, of course, is you don't need any refrigerated items then. Which brings me to the next topic, which is meals you can make with ingredients that don't require any refrigeration. So usually for day 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I'm making these types of meals. The easiest one is pasta. There's all sorts of ways you can cook pasta. The easiest is just cook some up and mix it with some red sauce if you want to. That can be canned sauce. They also make small plastic jar sauce I've been able to find, which is nice. Or you can make your own if you want to get creative, using your own canned tomatoes and some paste and seasonings, etc. What I like to do often is make it with Italian sausage. I'll cook the sausage at home in advance. I'll grill it up. And that's going to last a couple of days, obviously, because it's cooked. And then I'll just cut that up and mix it in with the sauce, and then add that to the pasta after I cook it. And that's a very delicious meal. And there's usually leftovers, which I'll talk about in a second. I've also made it with canned tuna and olives and pimentos. Anchovies are a nice ingredient to add to things. They store well. They have a lot of flavor in a small amount of material, so they're great for adding flavor. I've also made it with canned clams once in a clam sauce. That was really good. So just lots of different things that you can do with pasta. Now, this brings me to the pressure cooker. I've talked about adding rice to meals, but I didn't talk about how to cook it. One of the best ways to cook rice is with a pressure cooker. So for a couple of reasons, I got a little 3-liter pressure cooker this last year to add to my gear, and I'm glad that I do. As you probably know, the pressure cooker cooks things more quickly than conventional cooking, which saves time and fuel. And it also really helps infuse the flavors, very quickly because of the pressure. So things taste really good coming out of the pressure cooker. The rice is easy. You just put in equal amounts of rice and water, like a cup of rice and a cup of water, or half a cup of rice, half a cup of water. And close the pressure cooker up and bring it up to pressure. Cook for about 10 minutes and then put it aside and let the pressure come down naturally, and you'll have just about perfectly cooked rice at the end of that. But one of the main reasons I got it was not just to cook rice, but meals. And one of my favorite meals is chili. In fact, I make a 3-can red lentil chili. This is very easy and very good. The 3 cans are a can of kidney beans, a can of stewed crushed tomatoes, and a small can of corn. I add in about a 1/4 cup of red lentils into that. Garlic, onion, chili powder, cumin, salt, pepper, splash of vinegar. Put that all in the pressure cooker, bring it up to pressure. Again, let it cook for about 10, 15 minutes at the most, and then put it aside and let the pressure come down on its own. And boy, does that taste good when it comes out. So that's a very good one. Obviously, there's lots of things you can make in a pressure cooker. Be creative, stews, etc. Research, some of your own or just some of your recipes. But the main message is this: don't eat like a hobo. So, bon appetit and fair winds. I hope that inspires you to up your quality of meals while